Okay. So we just left Suspiria.
Yeah.
2018.
The new one.
And whoa.
Yeah, it's way different.
If you couldn't hear him because he talks a little quiet.
Yeah, way different.
It's way different.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it would be.
Yeah.
Well, right off the bat, when they opened the movie and it was different, I was like, okay, they're
not a shot-for-shot remake.
Right. I was like, okay, they're clearly changing some things.
Yeah, like the basic story, and then.
I mean, they didn't even take the basic story.
Oh, it still is. I mean, it's about a girl joining a dance academy.
Well, yeah, okay.
Shit is going on.
That's more like a setting than the story.
Okay.
But wow. I mean, first let me say the acting was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
For the most part.
Dakota Johnson, Tilda Swinton.
Listen, yeah, $3. Damn it. Dakota Johnson was good. But I think it took her a little while to get into the role.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't want to spoil the movie, but like she starts off like naive, you could say, and then she learned, you know, kind of, and so the character changes. And I think as the character changes, she really embodies that role.
Right.
But early on, it was a little like, I was like, are you really this naive or stupid? You know, it was like a little bit where I was a little confused.
I think it was part of the whole arc that was supposed to happen, you know?
That makes sense. That would make sense. But like, it felt forced. Her acting of being naive felt kind of unnatural, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, Tilda Swinton was amazing.
Yeah. Really intense.
Really intense.
Always. Yeah,
and I'm about to blow your mind.
What?
The old man.
Yeah.
His name in the movie was the actor was Lutz Ebersdorf. That was Tilda Swinton.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, no way.
Yeah. The entire movie, I sat there going, I swear to God, that's makeup. I said to myself, I'm like, that is makeup.
What the heck?
And then I saw, that's why, like, when you read the name, and I was like waiting to see who the name was, I wanted to look it up to see what the actor looked like as a person. I was like, that has to be a young man. And
she did a dual role.
She did a dual fucking role, and she played like an 80-year-old man.
That's crazy, dude.
In the movie.
Wow.
Right? I was like, that's why I didn't want to tell you before, because I wanted that genuine reaction, which, to be fair, was a little muted, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I thought it was like some, like, you know, really cool, like ancient actor that been around.
I'm telling you, right from the start, I was like, I swear to God, that is makeup. And I was like, why are
His voice was a little high, that's fine.
That's why. I was like, the voice the voice did not sound like a man's voice, like an old man's voice.
Right.
I'm supposed to turn right here. Didn't sound like an old man to me. So I was like, why would they use a young man, like a young character in the role, unless they're going to do a flashback or something where we see him as a younger person? And I'm like, oh, that makes sense why they would use the same actor for both roles.
Right.
And then that last scene where they flashed forward. Before I saw the cell phone, I was kind of hoping it was a flash backward, and then I was gonna be like, and then I was actually gonna be mad. I was like, wow, they had a young man in the role just for the final scene to show him as his young self. And then I looked it up after, and it was Tilda Swinton as the old man. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, you know, I don't want to get into spoilers and that kind of stuff, obviously. But oh, oops, bird down. Bird scooter left in the street. What did you think?
I thought it was like, so I feel like the original was like more like a fantasy.
And
like,
more suspenseful.
Yeah, with like
through
lighting.
The beginning.
Yeah. This one, they right away, you hear witches. So like, you know, you were like, you didn't know what was killing people in the first one, but this one is like, oh, okay, there's witches.
Right off the bat, they're like, we know there's a coven thing, and there's witchcraft, and yeah, they completely, like, I think that because because of the direction they took the movie, they wanted that out there early, is what I think. But it did remove a lot of what I felt could have been the atmosphere. like the first one.
Right.
You know, the Suspiria 1970 whatever had this, you know, they did a lot with the colors, and the music was very subtle.
This one was like grayed out, and I think it's because they try to use the Cold War as a background.
And that was I was gonna say that was my other issue.
Like heavily. Was
that there was like so much going on in the movie, whether, so in the first one, remind me if I remember correctly, when they try to explain the disappearance of the first girl that was killed, they explained it as she decided to go home. Right. And that was the whole thing. And I feel like, is your phone right? Oh, maybe that's another car. Anyway, sorry. I feel like this movie, they were like, we want to have a more solid reason for the first girl's disappearance. Right. So the entire thing with the Cold War and like the rebel and the RAF stuff and the Palestinians taking over the airplane or all that other stuff, like none of that did anything except show progression of time. Right. Except that it kind of that was the reason for the first girl's disappearing, because her heart was in, because that's what they said why she rejected the whole process was because she wanted to be blowing up buildings and other stuff. And so the entire subplot was wrapped around this. By the way,
my idea is that because the first movie was shot in the 70s and it was just supposed to be taking place at that time, you know, you could just tell from like the architecture and the buildings and whatever they used. This one, because they're shooting it modern day, I think they really was like, this is the 1970s of Germany, and so they were trying to really
like all this shove that in there of the things that were going on in Germany at the time,
the news reports,
and the Berlin Wall had like the security to get through and that kind of stuff. I guess that makes sense, but it was a little much. Yeah, wasn't it? It was a little much, and they didn't need it. And this movie was like almost 2.5 hours. Right. It had to be, because it was a lot longer than the original. 12:15, let's say 20 minutes for previews. So it was almost 2.5 hours long. I mean, we didn't even get out of there in time. I still had to pay for parking, even with the validation, which was kind of stupid. But regardless, it was too long. They could have cut out some of that Cold War stuff. Yeah. And it would have nothing would have changed. Except like we wouldn't have heard the news story about, you know, the plane and the terrorists and all this stuff. It kind of needed that background for the arc of the old man. Well, and that's the other thing, is that did the old man need an arc? Yeah, because this time, instead of like just, because that old man character was in the original, he did the exposition like he did in this film, but this time he was like the investigator trying to investigate. Who was the old man in the first one? You remember when she meets that guy? Yeah, he's not young. He's a young man, but then he introduces her to an older man who knows stuff about the occult. About the witches, okay. And he has the same exposition about the mother, Tenenbaum, Suspirium, and all that. Right, that's true. But except the difference is that and he's a psychiatrist too. But his knowledge of that was because of the book that. Right. They changed that. Oh, and by the way, Chloe Grace Moretz is in the movie. Should mention that. Yeah. Very small role considering her star power. I mean, I think it's faltering. That's why, you know, she was a supporting cast member, and Dakota Johnson was the main. I guess that's true. But yeah, so Chloe Grace Moretz's character is the one who actually knows all this information because she wrote it down. Well, yeah, she's supposed to be like the beginning, the girl who's killed in the first movie, right at the start. Right. Who figures out all this witch stuff. And she's running around all scared and shit. Yeah. Yeah. But of course, yeah. And Olga's character, remember I even said it. She was like, she looked like she had to be over 40 years old. Yeah, I was like, who's this old lady like dancing with these young girls? Well, from afar, I couldn't tell. Yeah. From afar, they all looked the same. Up on her. But then every time they went to her face and you saw like there were certain wrinkles and stuff, I was like, this doesn't make sense. She would be one of the elders, not one of the dancers, if anything. So I'm not sure how that woman got cast in that role. Right. Did you recognize or figure out who the woman from the first one was in this movie?
Jessica Harper, yeah.
Who was Jessica Harper in this movie?
I don't know. Do you want me to go into spoilers?
Well, I guess not. But
Okay.
Confirmed, Alan did recognize.
Yes, I recognize
her from this
and
movie.
I'll let you know later.
Apparently, he'll let you know later. Well, I guess we can do spoiler warning, right?
Well, let's say.
Oh, let's finish. Then we'll go into spoilers.
Yeah, say whether we recommend the movie or not.
Okay, so do you recommend this movie?
It's really limited showing, so I guess if you can catch it, maybe you have like a movie like A-list or something, or one of those movie passes, catch it, you know. But
is it worth?
It's gonna come out on
money?
Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's
if you have
true.
Amazon Prime,
That's true.
just wait and watch it. I would
So there you
definitely
go.
recommend to watch it.
Okay, so there's a 2-tier thing here going on. A, recommended, but B, maybe wait till it's free.
Well, not free, but
you know, through a streaming service.
Yeah. You know.
I guess I'd say the same. Like, I do feel it wasn't a waste of time, although I did get kind of bored because of just how how the slow pacing of it was. But I would recommend it if you're a fan of this kind of genre. There were no jump scares.
Yeah. No.
Right? So it's not the modern horror, you know, jump scare kind of stuff.
It wasn't all that, yeah.
When do we want to talk about the trailers?
Oh, after.
Okay.
After
Oh, yeah,
spoiler.
yeah. Okay, after the spoiler portion. Okay. So I would recommend it as well. If you can see it streaming, or if you have A-list or Movie Pass, or something like that. Would I tell you to go spend $15 to $20 to see it? I'm not sure. Right?
Yeah.
You'd really
Unless you're really fan.
You really have to be a fan of either the character, like the actors,
like supernatural horror,
or like you know, you love that kind of like slow burn to a fast finish. I gotta say though, one more thing before we go into spoilers. When the movie started with a six chapter and epilogue film, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, they tell you right away.
They told us right away from the start.
And then it has like this framing that it like cuts to, like, oh, this is the next act.
Between each act.
Each act has a name.
And each act has a name, and then like the border and stuff gets like crazier as the movie goes on.
Right.
But it was kind of like we knew how far into the movie we were, and how much more there was, and maybe that's why it also kind of felt really long.
Yeah.
Was because, oh, this is the start of Act 3. Okay, that means there's 3 more and an epilogue. Okay, so we're gonna go into spoilers now.
Yeah.
So hopefully you stick around. Let's try to keep it just a couple minutes.
Okay.
So that, you know, if anybody wants to hear talk about the reviews of the trailers, skip ahead to just go, I don't know, 5 minutes into the future.
Right.
All right. Okay, go for it.
All right. So what I wanted to say is, like, this is like, it completely turns the head of like the hero.
Yes.
Because now you have this old psychiatrist guy trying to investigate, trying to help
these girls
help these girls find the girl he was
the missing girl, Gracie Moretz. Chloe Grace Moretz's character.
He was attending to, and
which they never really explain how she became a patient of his.
No, they don't explain it.
But clearly she's got problems, and he's been trying to help her through them.
She was really crazy at the beginning, and then through that he meets the Sarah character, and then tries to get
her to help. Yeah.
But of course that ends up getting her into trouble, right?
Right. Which, am I wrong? Did she say at the end she wanted to live?
No, she said she wanted to die.
Though the other two said they wanted to die.
Yeah.
But Sarah's character, I swear, said live.
No, I think she said die.
Well, see, we just skipped ahead to the end. But anyways, so in the original Suspiria, you've got this girl who comes in, who then the witches are trying to recruit to become like the next essence, or life source for their mother.
Right.
And in this one, what we discover through the movie is that she's actually playing along with them, and teasing them along, maybe to see.
Susie Banyan character now is like, I guess the real Mother Suspiria, and like Helena Marcos is just like
a pretender.
Yeah, pretender.
Right, which they actually kind of said. I forgot which character it was. I think it was the old man at the coffee shop when he said that she claims to be one of these mothers.
Right.
But no one has been able to prove it.
Right.
Oh no. Oh, when the witches were all talking in their heads to each other, one of them was saying to the other about you know, but how do we don't have proof that she is.
Right.
You know. So, and it's very clear that they make it that there's two camps. There's the Blanc camp, which is Tilda Swinton's character, and then the one claiming to be the mother.
Yeah, Marcos.
So there's the Marcos camp, and then there's the Blanc camp.
Yeah.
And as we learn, you definitely want to be Team Blanc.
Right. Yeah, I think this one and the original, like most of the kills were like done by like a knife or like physical means, like, you know.
They were all physical means.
Yeah, they were
right.
All...
It was it being like stabbed, then being thrown like through the window, then the glass killing somebody else, and then the barbed wire and everything else like that happened.
And in this one,
it was all very supernatural, it's all and like
supernatural, psychic. Like the first kill, like Olga, she gets like.
Dude, that was
voodoo dolled and contorted.
That was so gruesome.
Right.
It was so gruesome. I like started. I shivered a little bit in my seat, especially when
she like pisses and
oh
vomits.
My god! Oh my! And then
you think she's dead, but apparently she's like hanging on by a thread because they don't actually fully kill
any
the girls.
Of them. They
turn them into revenants or like zombies or something. Like
they basically, it seemed like they attached them to like almost like life-sucking equipment. So
I don't know. Yeah, they all become like zombified. Like Chloe Grace Moretz, she shows up later in the movie looking like she's from The Exorcist.
Right.
Like she's possessed by.
But like all her life is being like slowly sucked out of her or something.
Something like that.
But yeah. Oh my god. And that's the thing is like they didn't kill the Olga character, but she's contorted to fuck. And she looks terrible, and she's like looks like she's dying, but she's wheezing. And then they fucking stick meat hooks into her and carry her away.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, I was just like, oh my god, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, just thinking about it now.
Yeah, it definitely brings up like the gore and like I don't know, disturbing factor.
And yet, that's it until the finale.
Yeah.
Like the entire middle of the movie is goreless.
Yeah,
there's like, a lot of talking. There's like a lot of like they're grooming. It's like a lot of grooming going on, trying to make that what they think they're doing is they think they're you know tricking this girl into wanting to be part of their group.
Right.
And then when we get to that finale.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I mean, do you ever?
She like so they have that like a ceremony, I guess, to like
they were gonna
have Susie like
the mother
or something like that.
What it was either that mother, what's her name? Mother, I keep
Helena
forgetting.
Marcos.
It was either that Mother Marcos was going to transfer her soul into the body, or she was going to completely absorb the essence,
right?
And make herself young again.
Yeah. And so like they disembowel like Sarah to like use her entrails.
It's like blood magic.
Yeah.
So they were like the three girls that like had died earlier in the we thought had died early in the movie had now reappeared, but they're being sliced open and their blood is on everybody and they're chanting and dancing and it's a whole thing and they're all naked and it's like you're like what the fuck, you know?
But then
the twist.
I guess Tilda Swinton has this arc where she doesn't really like want to go along with Helena Marcos. She feels like she's the fall's mother, and I was really protective and almost like has like a sexual thing for Susie.
It does. It seems like she does literally fall in love with her.
Even Susie calls her out like, I think you're in love with me.
Right.
And so she tries to stop the ceremony. That's when the Helena Marcos character, who's like this old bag of meat with like hands and,
oh my god,
and head sticking out of her body, was so gross, and she like kills Tilda Swinton's character. And then that's when Susie does the twist where she's like the vessel for the real Mother Suspiria,
which they kind of,
and so this like zombie looking chick comes out like.
So
black.
Just to apologize, we have gone over almost 2 minutes past when I warned about the spoilers ending.
Oh. Right.
It's a work in progress. The 5 people that watch this, I'm sure you won't be too upset. So, but we're still in spoilers.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on.
And she's just like cutting people up, like left and right, making it.
Well, no,
everybody that voted for Marcos, she makes their head explode. She kills Marcos.
Who is that though? Who is the embodiment?
That's the real Mother Suspiria. So that's the real.
She came out of the shadows.
Yeah, she came out of.
Got it. Like the
real head of the coven came out.
Yeah, and then she literally causes their heads to explode. She just taps them on the neck, and their head explodes.
Yeah.
And they showed them all. Well, here's the weird thing, is that they showed the women voting, but I swear they were like 30 years younger when they're voting.
Possibly,
like, when it shows them as voting. And you know what I think that is?
What?
I think it's because they said that, I thought that they had said that Blanc kept the Institute together through the war. But I don't know if it was actually, because maybe 30 years ago, when before the war, it was actually where they had all voted, and it's been, because we never saw them vote for Blanc or Marcos. I assumed that was a live vote.
Right.
That was happening right then and there, but it's very possible that was like 30 years earlier.
Right.
And so for 30 years, Marcos has been the mother, and Blanc has been trying to help find the recruits, or all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. I was also gonna say that the whole thing with the main girl's background about being like from the Mennonites.
Yeah.
None of that really made sense to me.
Oh yeah.
Because then at the end where she calls her greatest like sin, and then when she's being told to abandon her any other mother, like that stuff, and then everything went really dark red, like that got felt more like the original Suspiria now, and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't understand that they talked about the history of the Amish and the Mennonites, and so again,
I'm guessing it's just setting up that the Susie Bannion character is comes from this very religious background, and now she's about to join the Coven of Witches. It's just like kind of like that religious scare thing that most of those possession movies do. Yeah,
that's true. That makes sense.
But I wanted to say Jessica Harper, who she plays in the film, is the wife of the doctor.
Is that why your reaction when she showed up?
Yeah.
Because I thought you were reacting like you recognized her as one of the witches in the coven, and I was gonna say something to you because I was like, I don't recognize her. So she's just
who's the original protagonist of the original Suspiria. Yeah, I get the doctor. I guess he was escaping East Germany, and
well, no, he wasn't escaping. They're Aryans.
Okay.
Because they had Aryan paperwork.
Oh, okay. So they were escaping.
Or one of them was and one of them wasn't.
Yeah.
Because he makes a comment. He goes, so and so found out about us, and I didn't have time to do anything but run.
Right.
So one of them.
Well, anyways, she gets caught.
Yeah.
She dies. But I guess they created an illusion of her.
The witches tricked him back to the institute.
And so she's there with him, telling him a fake story of how she survived
and walking with him and stuff. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a nice little part to give her. Yeah. I like that.
So and I like that because I guess they wanted him to be a witness to their witchcraft, because it gives it more power. If you have an outsider to witness the cult magic that they were doing.
Yeah.
And
it made him insane.
Right.
And then she fixed him.
Yeah, at the end in the epilogue, Susie, who's now the new witch leader, erases his memory, so all of that stuff he doesn't remember, and he can live a peaceful life. Yeah. But I really,
there's a lot going on, but it's fun. It was engaging. It wasn't a waste of time. Right. So now I'm gonna make a mark of that, because what I'm gonna probably do is actually put this on the computer, so I can maybe add some stuff hey, the spoiler warning actually 10 minutes, not 5 minutes. But anyway, so now we'll talk about some trailers. Do you want to pull up? I texted you the list.
Oh, okay.
The first trailer was The Favorite.
Oh yeah.
Which is the I'm trying to figure out what kind of movie it is. It's British, obviously.
Yeah.
And
it's like some sort of like dark comedy, or
it's either a dark comedy or just straight up drama, like a dark, like a light drama. I don't know how else to, you know what I mean? And it stars Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone.
As like,
and they're both like
rival attendants to the Queen, or something.
The Queen of England.
Yeah.
And back in what's this period? But it's like back in the past.
It's like Victorian era.
Yeah, Victorian era. Yeah, and it's, I don't know.
It looks interesting. It's
kind of interesting.
It seems like it's gonna be
I'll probably watch it because A-list, you know.
Right.
But like I would pay money to see that if, you know.
Agreed. Yeah, it doesn't look like the kind of movie that I
like something I might watch on streaming.
Yeah. Next up was Overlord, which comes out next week.
Which is Call of Duty Zombies.
It's either Wolfenstein, or Call of Duty Zombies. I'm telling you, I've seen this trailer too many times now.
Yeah.
But when I saw it the first time, I was like, this is Wolfenstein. It's gotta be.
Right.
Because and it's just I still don't know how I feel about it. Everyone else around me is like, oh, you gotta go see it. It looks great. I'm gonna go see it. We should go see it. Like we're gonna go see it.
Yeah, we're gonna see it.
But I'm reserved about it because I don't know. I don't know about this, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be bad. I just don't know. I have low expectations. You know what?
It is kind of interesting that they're, because most zombie films take place like current era. And so it's kind of nice to see a period piece zombie film.
Okay,
so
you know what? That's true. That's true.
And zombies, that's kind of cool.
That's fair enough. It will be interesting, you could call them ancient weaponry, essentially, like World War II guns, and how they interact with like zombies.
Yeah, I just think because they're fighting off Nazis and zombies.
Yeah. So I've got low expectations, which means I'll probably like it.
Yeah.
When we see it. What was
the
next?
next one is Glass.
So we actually, because we had seen the Overlord trailer before, we both got up to go refill our drink. His drink. I got popcorn, and we come back, and then it was in the middle. The Glass trailer had started.
Yeah.
And
which I've seen before.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh really?
The one that they showed. I covered my eye, my ears, and I was trying not, because they were ruining the movie. Like the previous trailers that I had seen kind of showed there's this psychiatrist character, and they're in the hospital, and this and that, and then in this trailer, it's literally like, oh, there's a flashing thing that brings out the different personalities, and guess who? Mr. Glass goes and finds it and pulls the beast out, and it's like a whole thing, and they just kept going. It was like they were going to tell the entire story. I mean, I don't know. There's
still stuff that I'm interested about. Let
me just tell you, I hate trailers.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
I hate trailers.
Even come and visit, the guy that was gonna murder her. I was like, why did she do that? I mean, I guess they kind of had a moment at the end where he spared her life and split. But I don't know. I'm excited because I really liked Unbreakable when that came out, and when I watched Split, I really loved that movie. And
no, do I think it's going to be a good movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do I want to go see it? Of course.
Yeah.
But I don't want the whole thing spoiled.
I know. That's a lot of trailers. I don't mind spoilers, but I just go through it.
Our whole lives. He's never minded spoilers. What was next?
Possession of Hannah Grace.
Possession of Hannah Grace, directed by Wan?
Oh,
James Wan.
That was Yorona.
Oh, crap. I was one trailer too early.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Possession of Hannah Grace. That looks really good.
Yes.
I thought it looked really good.
I guess it's going to take all place in that mortuary.
Which I'm okay with.
Or whatever.
I'm okay with that. I think the main actress, I don't recognize her.
She's pretty.
But she's attractive. She seems like she's a good actress from what we could tell. And I'm interested to see where that goes. I did notice one of the other characters in the trailer. I don't know her name. I can't remember right now. But she's the main woman from Castle.
Okay.
And she's a decent actress as well. So I'm curious to see where that's gonna go.
Okay.
What was it called again? Possession of Hannah Grace. Next up
is
La Llorona. What was the full name?
The Curse of La Llorona.
Which, by the way, hold on. By the way, they wanted to make sure people knew how to pronounce it, so that's why at the end they had like an actual like guy come out and go, "The Curse of La Llorona."
Oh, okay.
Right?
I didn't notice that.
They did. They had a guy like actually say that, and I was like, "That's a little funny."
I guess it's part of that whole Conjuring.
I had a feeling it was because that one is James Wan.
Yeah, it's James Wan.
Yeah,
and it looks interesting.
It looks.
I think people have been wanting to see something, you know,
that's based more on like.
No, that's been based off that myth, La Llorona. Like a woman who lost
the weeping woman, right?
Lost her children, so now she steals.
I want to say that there was a
basically children are being victimized in the film, so I don't know.
I know this is a little obscure, but I want to say like 5-6 years ago when I was working at Universal. That. And then I went to Horror Nights.
Yeah, they had Horror Nights. Yeah,
they did. So so I kind of know because there was like the maze about La Llorona. Okay, so I know a little bit.
Yeah, I remember. I went that year.
There's what, one more trailer?
Yeah, there was an Amazon Studios movie, Cold War.
Oh, was that another Amazon Studio?
Yeah.
Of course, before the movie set during the Cold War, they played a trailer for a movie called Cold War,
which is like a black and white
black and white Polish romance.
Yeah, and I guess it's set in like East.
Well, it's set in Poland. Yeah. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling one of the two characters is going to be Jewish, and the other isn't, because they show the guy at points where his hair is shaved. He looks like he's in prison of some sort. So I have a feeling it's a love story where she like, you know, has to like find him, or wait for him, or I'm not sure, but I don't know if I don't feel interested in that one.
Yeah, it's all Polish. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
It looks artsy. I don't know.
I gotta say one more thing about this movie that we watched today. A lot of it was in German.
Yeah, and they put a lot of subtitles.
And
well, that was cool because
not only were there subtitles, but the subtitles had like a outer bezel that was at an angle that sometimes I was like, are they trying to make it almost 3D-ish? Like, do I need glasses? I don't know. It was sometimes it was like.
Well, what was cool is that, you know, in the original Suspiria, everybody's speaking English.
Was dubbed into English, yeah.
And so it's kind of nice to have like, oh, okay, no, you're in Germany. Like it made it feel more like you're actually in Germany.
That's true. Yeah.
The original one
I wasn't against it.
The beer, like they're in there in the beer house, and the guys are doing that crazy dance.
Oh yeah. That was the Oktoberfest dance, or whatever. Right. And I was like, how do we know that's Oktoberfest? It could be any time of year in Germany. But yeah, so I guess that'll wrap that up. That's quite a long video. Yeah. Adding spoilers and all the other stuff into it. Hopefully you stuck around. Like I said, I'll make sure that I warn people appropriately of the spoilers. But thank you for sticking it out. I'll be seeing a couple. Tomorrow we might go see Nutcracker.
Yeah, the Nutcracker.
So that'll be fun. That one looks good. I'm hoping it's another Disney one, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's better than what was the one that with Oprah?
Oh, that was terrible. The Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's better than A Wrinkle in Time, because that was garbage.
Yeah, it's like stick to Marvel, guys.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, Nutcracker.
Animation.
Yeah, stick to animation. That's better.
Stick to animation, Marvel.
But anyhow, I hope you have a wonderful day or night. I'm not sure when this will end up getting posted, but I'll try to put it out today, because since I already said tomorrow we're going to Nutcracker.
Right.
Anyways, thank you again, and
bye.
Yeah, have a wonderful day.